Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're welcome to like, subscribe, share and comment, and voila, you're part of the graceful, the beautiful and the wonderful family. We are back with another video and it's another episode of Employment Wednesdays. I think I have 3 episodes left for the year and I'm done. We'll try again next year. But yeah, today we are back with another video, and then this video is inspired by an interview that DJ Zinhle had on is it Khaya FM? Yeah, DJ Zinhle had on Khaya FM with Zinhle and Soul regarding her career and all of those things, right? And there's something so profound that she said. I think I've always thought about it as well, but she took out the words out of my mouth, right? She said, the thing is, with a lot of youth, right, you are not just unemployed, but you're also unemployable, right? So she was explaining the whole art of saying that, she's been learning to let go, and then there's even a saying that Dineo brought about to say, fire faster than you hire. Apparently it's about it's by one of the most prominent businessmen in the world. I don't know who, I forgot the name, but yeah, fire faster than you hire. And then also sometimes as a youth, you are not just unemployed, but you are unemployable, which brings me to the topic of the day. How do you make yourself unemployable? How do you make yourself employable? How do you, while in your waiting, while trying to find a job and all of that, while trying to start up a business, how do you make yourself employable? Because that's another thing. I think I always say this, I can't say it enough. When you're looking for a job, you must always bear in mind, in as much as you're in need, also your employer is in need. They're in need of a service, and that service must be provided in a very excellent manner, right? So there you have it, right? You are a fresh graduate, or you just finished school, or you just want to move from one job to another. You have to ask yourself, am I employable? What do I bring to the table? You know that question that guys always say, no, what do you bring to the table? You guys always want the best male visions and all of that, but what do you bring to the table? And we often say, I am the table. When you're looking for a job, it doesn't work like that. You are not the table. You must tell us what you bring to the table. You must be able to tell your HR, you must be able to tell the company, and also own up to what you've said, because I've noted that a lot of the people know how to sell themselves, and I think I blame people like me for sharing tips and all of that. And then you become so great at selling yourself at an interview, but you find that when it's time to execute, you can't. You're struggling because you don't have the right skills. You're not equipped for the job, right? So what do you do to make yourself employable? Number 1, guys. Don't sit there at home and just be a potato while searching for your desired job. I'll make an example. I've never been unemployed. There is a season in my life where I was not employed in what I studied for, but I've never been unemployed because I wanted to make sure that I am employable. I wanted to make sure that I have the basic things like people skills, basic things like communication skills, basic things like diligence, basic things like time management, basic things like team playing, being able to work as an individual, being able to work under pressure. So all of these things are basics that you don't learn from a specific job. You learn from any kind of job. You learn how to manage your time, even if you're working as a waiter, because I have to wake up at such a time, I need to be at such a place at such a time, I need to do A, B, C, D. You learn how to work with people as a cashier because every now and then you interact with people. You learn how to work well under pressure as a call center agent. You learn how to work in a team as a cleaner, because there are other cleaners there, but there are jobs that we often undermined because we're like, oh no, I can't be a cleaner. I've got a master's in banking law. By the way, I collected my certificate, guys. It's very much official, right? I've been a master's in banking law graduate for like over 6 months, but I hadn't collected my certificate. But we tend to like, oh no, there's no way, I'll never do this type of job. What is it going to do for me and all of that? While you're searching for a desirable job, make sure that you keep yourself busy. Do the things that are beneficial to your next company, to the society. If you like, be a contributing citizen of society. You know, if a person was to hire you, would they be happy with their choice of hiring you? So it's a very, very, very important, guys. Yeah, it's important that you ensure that you're employable, right? So like I said, what do you then do? You'll be like, oh no, I've been looking for a job as a lawyer, right? And I can't find that job. I want to be an associate. I can't find that job. I want to be a candidate attorney. I can't find that job. So what do I do, right? Then look for other options. Let's make, for example, I've worked as a data surveyor. I have worked at a retail store as a salesperson. I would stand there the whole day, but I knew I needed that. I knew that that season was preparing me for a greater season in my life. I've worked as a promoter. You know, as a promoter, you carry things, you move from one place to another. You need to be able to articulate yourself. You need to be able to sell the brand and all of those things. If I wasn't looking at the bigger picture, I would have said, no, I'm not going to do any of these jobs. I'm going to wait until I get articles, of which I only got articles 2 years later. So imagine 2 years you're seated, your brain is getting rust, because that's another thing about academics. There's only so much academics can do for your mind and for you as an individual. You know, some of those things that were taught in university are things that sometimes wear off, right? And then there's certain lessons we need to learn via life experience, via moving from one job to another, via moving from one company to another, via changing careers. So there's certain things that you may never really get to learn unless you do certain jobs. But we limit ourselves to specific professions. You're going to be like, oh no, I studied medicine, I don't have a job, so I'll just stay and sit there. You are not doing yourself justice, guys. You are not doing yourself justice, because sometimes people employ us and they fire us because they realize, oh no, she spoke good English, she was able to sell herself, but she doesn't know the job. So take practical courses as well. Like I said, look for alternative jobs, right? You can be a cleaner, you can be a cashier, you can do call center work, you can do these jobs that are easily accessible. Because I think another thing, the unemployment rate is high, right? But also there are certain jobs that we run away from. It's like, oh no, there ain't no way, I'm not going to be a waiter. Sometimes I'd say be sacrificial. You know, sacrifice maybe 6 months. Say, okay, instead of just sitting at home and waking up and being a potato, let me rather be a waiter for 6 months. Because at the end of the day, maybe as a waiter, I can make 7,000 rand for the month. Who's going to give me 7,000 rand? I'm able to pay for a few bills. I'm able to contribute at home. I'm able to learn specific skills. I'm also able to make myself employable, right? So look for alternative jobs, right? Don't just sit at home and just, you know what. And some jobs, guys, like, they're not as a hard labor. I'll make, for instance, being a promoter can be taxing and all of that. But I would highly recommend that people should be promoters. You get to network, you meet different people, you get to work with different brands, you get to, like, it brings out the inner social person in you. It puts you out there, and also it forces you to think, it forces you to interact. Because, like, for instance, sometimes you'll be expected to go promote at a mall you've never been to. What do? You ask people. Your communication skills are being enhanced, right? And then another thing that we take for granted, guys, after uni, or let me make a practice, after matric, if you didn't get university space, please enroll for practical learnerships apply for them. They are there. I know Sparrow College always has these learnerships whereby you've got 6 months practical work, you've got 6 months of learning as well, right? Normalize doing practical courses, guys, because this will teach you how to do the work. Because it's one thing, I always say this, and sometimes people will say that's not entirely true, but this is my own opinion. I always say it's easy being book smart, because you need to figure out how many times do you need to read this for you to understand it. It's very much easy being book smart. I can guarantee you that. If only we can all sit down and figure out, okay, for me to get this right or remember it for an exam or a test, I need to read it like 10 times for it to stick in, or I need to read it 20 times. You know, that's the thing. The only thing that makes us not all book smart or all get good grades usually is because we use other people's methods, right? It's easy being book smart, but being practical, guys, being practical is one of the hardest things ever. Because I think somebody once even asked to say, how come some cum laude students don't get returned in law firms, or they don't tend to do well in their careers? It's because that's the thing. It takes discipline for you to be academically smart. If you discipline yourself, you figure out what works for you, I can guarantee you will do well in books. But practicality takes practice, it takes resilience, it takes mistakes, it takes lessons, it takes you applying yourself. Like, you know what, if they say go and appear in court, it doesn't take one appearance whereby you just rock up and you're like, as it pleases the court, my name is Yvonne Shabango, I appear on behalf of the respondent, and my lady this, that, or whatever. Then you think that's it, you're the best litigator. No, it takes you making mistakes on your notice of intention to defend. It takes you forgetting, calling the judge my lady, this, that. Like, it takes a lot of mistakes, which is why I highly recommend courses that are practical. You know, if you can, or if you're exposed to an environment whereby there are courses that are practical, your boiler making, your you've got teaching, some learnerships, like they'll say it's maybe teaching for early childhood, then they'll say, okay, fine, in order for us to see that you're learning and all of that, we're going to put you in a classroom where you're going to transfer your skills to these young people or these kids or whatever the case may be. So enroll for practical courses, guys. Like right now, there's no time to look like you want to be a noble citizen of society. No, it doesn't work like that. Right now, it's what you can do, what you can apply. There's also something so amazing I saw in one of the stories, and I'm so sad that I missed that event. But I saw one of when Amanda Dambuzo was speaking at one of her recent events. She said she's not on about trying to motivate people. She's on about, one, celebrating. The purpose of that event was to celebrate, right? Another thing, she's on about teaching people practical things that can be applied right after leaving the event. Not to say, oh no, I'm motivated today, tomorrow I wake up and I'm like, nah, I don't feel like going to the gym, you know. So she's like, her main focus or her main agenda is to ensure that people are taught things that they can apply as they leave the place. So I think it's always important that we shy away or move away from trying to focus on, okay, no, I've got a law degree, I've got an engineering degree, or I've got this. If hospitality is the most practical thing to do right now in the economy that we live in, go for it. Like, don't be fooled and think people are going to be like, oh no, she studied hospitality. That thing is going to pay bills for you. That thing is going to make you a millionaire. But you'll be busy focused on, oh no, you know, I want a law degree. You will have that law degree, but you will sit at home without a job. Because it's also hard to find a job, or maybe because you're unemployable. So guys, normalize looking for alternative jobs while searching for your desirable job. So if you know that at the end of the day, the end goal is becoming an attorney, whilst you're waiting for the process, whilst you're still in uni, network, number one. I'll never stress this enough for people that like get to go through the route of going to university and then trying to find a job and all of that. Whilst you're still in uni, or even in matric, I think from grade 11, okay, actually guys, from grade 10, I don't know how old are people at grade 10, but I was slightly younger than most people because I finished matric at 16. So in grade 10, I was boomer 14, so working was something else. But I started working around about primary school. Like, I'll do those pamphlet things, like I'll do it with my mom. But so it's always important that you start early, maybe from, let's say, from grade 10, because I know most grade 10s are like 16. During your holidays, find a piece job, sell sweets at school if it's allowed, but invoke practical skills that will be able to grow businesses and empires and all of that. Because here's another thing, even if they employ you, if you're unemployable, you tend to defeat the whole purpose of growing businesses. Because if, let's say, for instance, a developing business, in Zinhle's words, we're not calling them small businesses anymore, a developing business, right, takes a risk in employing you, right? Even though maybe you're still starting up, you're a junior. It defeats the whole purpose of it being a developing business if they're going to employ you, pay you so much, and you're not able to carry out the task. Then it means the business is not going to grow. Then it means other people won't be able to be employed, all at the cost of one person who's unemployable. So if you know, reflect, guys, reflect. If you know that you're part of those people that are unemployable, you still have a chance. Wake up, go to Mr. Price, go to Checkers, go to Pep. There's promotions. I'm not sure what do they call it. I'm going to try and see if I can link it up, right? But there are people that always have a plug for promotions. You know, I don't know where they get them, but they always have a plug. Look for those people. Do promotions on weekends. But don't just sit at home and think a degree, you know, is just what's going to secure a future for you. We live in different times. Sometimes, I know I always say this. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. I'm like, you know what, half the time when I wanted to quit, like I've always wanted to be like, no, you know what, this whole degree thing is not working out. Let me maybe go and become a superstar. Let me go into media. Let me do this. And the only thing that kept me going is, oh no, I need to preserve my parents' dignity, which was a good thing with underlying toxicity, because half the time I did it for my parents, right? It's a thing of I wanted to make my parents proud. I wanted to be like, you know what, I'm educated, because also there's an advantage that education gives you. But I can tell you, it shouldn't limit you that you have a degree. It also shouldn't limit you that you don't have a degree. Don't sit there and be like, oh no, I don't have a degree, I'm not going to offer my services. Like, there's companies I know are always willing to take people. It's just that they won't advertise it on social media, whatever the case may be. So that's where doing the work will come in. When you have time on a weekend, just go around different stores, like, okay, hi guys, can I come once a week or 2 times a week? You know, if you can afford not to be paid, let them know you don't have to pay me. But if you need transport money, or, you know, negotiate, teach yourself those things. And also, I can't stress enough the essence of attending developmental programs, guys. I'll tell you why it's important to attend developmental programs. In these programs, you get to ask people that have walked your journey questions that will help you do certain things. Another thing, that's where you get to network. That's where you get to meet different connections, people that are able to link you up with jobs, people that are able to link you up with your next opportunity and all of that. But also, just make sure that you're not seated doing nothing, waiting for something to happen or waiting on a miracle. Miracles happen, but let a miracle find you prepared. Let it not find you preparing. Let it find you prepared. Let it find you doing the best you can. Because, guys, the competition is tough. The pressure gets worse and worse. You come in, you are a candidate attorney, maybe you were in a big firm or small firm or a boutique firm or a very prominent law firm, or whatever the case may be. They come out, they say they have their masters. Oh! And then you come out and you're like, oh no, I'm a great communicator and all of that. Then they come out and they say they have their PhDs. Then you come out, oh no, I've got a digital marketing certificate. Then they come out and they say, oh no, I've got an MBA. So because the pressure is getting worse and people are doing everything they can to develop themselves academically, do something different. As you develop yourself academically, also develop yourself practically. You know, if you've established that one of your best gifts is speaking, invest in being a great speaker, read books, try and volunteer to speak to students, to youth, to people, to community events, but enhance your gifts, enhance your practical gifts. I literally believe we've all been given practical gifts whereby we can use our hands, we can use our mouth, we can use our physical features. Some people are dancers. Go on TikTok, dance, 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 call the crowd. That's another practical way of doing things. Because, like, for instance, people can look at influencing and be like, it's easy and all. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's another thing that becomes a valuable skill. Because if you're going to go into maybe a corporate space and they ask you, what do you bring to the table? And you say, I bring in numbers, I bring in brands. I've worked with brand so and so, and I know brand so and so can need a legal team or can need a financial team, whatever the case may be. So I can bring you that brand, or I can bring you the right person to enable you to go through that brand. Or I can bring in so and so who can assist you go through this brand and all of that. And yeah, some companies, all they need is clientele. And if you can let them know that, hey, I can bring you clientele, they are so happy. Like, they are more than happy to employ you, you know. So also, employability does not just depend on you doing the hard work. It's more about what do you bring into the table. Can you carry out a task? Are you teachable? That's one of the most important things when it comes to employability. Are you teachable? Do you have a teachable spirit? Or is it just a thing of the company is going to waste resources upon resources trying to teach you and you're not teachable? Are you teachable? Are you resourceful? Are you efficient? Are you effective? Those are some of the factors that we look at when we look at employability. So yeah, I mean, yeah, guys. Just don't yatsa people on TikTok and then you think you're set at home, you're living your best life, you're just sending CVs. I missed sending CVs. I missed praying. Go and do other odd jobs. You know, do something with yourself. You know, test your efficiency, test your resourcefulness, test your effectiveness, but just make sure that you're not seated doing nothing. And yeah, I hope if you think and thought you are unemployable, I hope you do an introspection. I hope from now, as in today, Lord December, I hope you're able to find an odd job or a job that is actually going to teach you some of the skills that you're going to use in year 2023 for your desired job or for your dream job or whatever the case may be. Okay, without wasting any much of your time, God bless you. May God give you all the grace and the favor that you require for you to find a job. May companies that had forgotten about you remember you in the season of interviews, in the season of closing the year and all of that. May companies remember you. May your CVs that were put under the desk or put away, may they be recovered right now. May they be rediscovered right now, and may they reach out to you. And when they reach out to you, may you be ready to take on your dreams. May you be ready to fly on, dream on. And that is my prayer for you today. And just always remember that God loves you and He is with you in every season and in every circumstance, you know. And do not forget to be loved and light. God bless you, and I will be praying for you, and you will definitely find a job. You will find a job. And when you find a job, please come to this comment section and tell me that you found a job. I really love such testimonies. God bless you.